Hello, I'm coming to you now a bit outside of my usual monthly upload schedule, but it's raining outside, so I thought this would be the perfect time to chat about some books. Specifically some books that I read recently that I really enjoyed, so this is gonna be part recent favorites, part reading wrap-up from the last 3 months. If you watched my 5-star prediction video, this will come as no surprise, but I ended up really enjoying Hazelthorn. This was unlike any other story I've read before. Maybe the closest comparison I could draw would be The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, which is also centered around obsession between people who grew up together, and it also features dark, gothic, sort of botanical focused imagery. Hazelthorn was full-on botanical body horror though, so if you're sensitive to very descriptive details on it, you might want to skip this. I found that I didn't mind it. It gave a very eerie and tense atmosphere to the whole story. What jumped out to me is that the author used very visceral descriptions. There were a lot of mouth-related metaphors of biting and chewing and crunching. Like this one, for example. It was a bit of a disorienting read in a sense that our main character, Evander, has some of his memories missing, and he's also not sure what is real or what he might be hallucinating. We follow him as he investigates the death of his guardian, who mysteriously left his estate to Evander rather than his own grandson, for example, and the other relatives descend like vultures to try to manipulate Evander now as the heir to the estate. I'm used to certain storytelling flow with usually a bit of a slower build-up and cresting around 80%, but this book doesn't have that. It's a wild, twisty ride from the first page till the last. I have to say, I cared a lot more about Evander as a person and his anger and obsession with Laurie, the grandson, rather than the whole murder plotline, but it was needed to push the story along. Definitely recommend it if you're up for a unique read featuring angry boys who feel intensely toward each other and a gothic garden that may or may not try to eat them. This made me interested in the author's other works too. I believe they also have another gothic horror titled Don't Let the Forest In, and their newest release is a mystery thriller with a haunted house. Complete 180, but after the botanical body horror, I picked up a YA contemporary romance and I ended up liking it a lot. I'm talking about I Hope This Doesn't Find You, which is my first read from the author, even though she has been on my fantasy radar as well for A Song to Drown Rivers. This one has surprising depth. We have Sadie Wen as our main character, who is a people pleaser because due to her parents' divorce, she believes she needs to present the best side of herself to everyone, and it's somehow her job to ensure that everything is running smoothly. Which, as the eldest daughter of my family, I could relate to in some way. The plot kicks off with Sadie's email drafts, where she addressed people who have wronged her in the past. These emails were a way for her to vent her frustration and were never supposed to be read by the recipients. And yet they get sent out, and suddenly her word as the role model student crumbles. And who did she write the angriest emails to? Julius Gong, her co-captain and academic rival, who is obviously the most infuriating boy with the dreamiest eyes or the softest hair or something like that. It's a rom-com, okay? And it fully delivers. We have great friendship, relatable family struggles, and the kind of flirty banter when they don't even know that they are flirting, but everyone else around them picks up on it. And the biggest point in favor of this book, Julius Gong is a nice person. There are so many contemporary romances jumping on the whole enemies to lovers trope, where the guy is just plain mean and condescending. But here, when it comes to situations where Sadie feels out of depth, Julius helps, and he's kind and he's nice. No wonder she ended up falling in love with him. Finally, a contemporary romance book that got it right. Also, I believe the story takes place in Australia, but our main characters are Chinese, and the author mentions a lot of Chinese dishes, especially desserts, as Sadie's mom owns a bakery, and that just got me hungry all the time. And I ended up asking my husband, who is Cantonese, so that we can make some of the food that was mentioned in the book. Talking about my husband, he's a big fan of Agatha Christie-esque murder mysteries, and we have been buddy reading the Thursday Murder Club series. We just finished the third book, The Bullet That Missed, and it is still so much fun. We had this whole conversation that in a murder mystery, you don't necessarily need in-depth characters or strong character development for it to be enjoyable. And that can be true, but what the Thursday Murder Club series is able to achieve is that I care as much about this group of pensioners and their shenanigans as I do about the murder plotline. You would think that after 2 books, the author has run out of witty remarks on aging and old people, but he still delivers some banger lines. The type of mystery also changes between the books. The first one was rather tame, but in the third book, things get darker and darker, and everyone is in a little bit more danger than before. I'm really curious where the author takes it in the fourth book, both in terms of the characters and the next mystery. Needless to say, we will continue reading the series. And last but not least, I want to tell you about a book that I almost didn't read, and that would have been such a shame. I'm talking about Prince's Gambit, which is the second installment in the Captive Prince trilogy. The first book is also titled Captive Prince, and I almost DNF'd it at like 30%. It is a heavy read, it features slavery and abuse, there is a lot of cruelty between the main characters, and reading it, I just couldn't imagine how their relationship could turn around and be earned. This second book is the reward for making it through the first. Here, Damon finds his own footing in the court and on the battlefield next to Prince Laurent, and it has all of my favorite flavors for a historical fiction. 2 brilliant minds coming together, learning how to work together, and slowly build up the trust toward each other. Plus, this has the slowest of slow burns, and it is done so beautifully, and the author makes you crave every second of it, every little interaction that's heavy with unsaid meaning. I'm so excited to see how the trilogy ends, because the author spun such a web of intrigue around the central plot, which is how Prince Laurent tries to outmaneuver his power-hungry uncle for the throne, and how Damon needs to face his own half-brother's betrayal for his own kingdom's throne. So start it for the political intrigue and historical fiction, and stay for the delicious slow burn and tension. So in the last 3 months, I read 12 books, and these 4 were the standouts among them. Let me know in the comments below what were your favorite reads of 2026 so far, and if you have any recommendations based on the books I just mentioned, feel free to drop those in the comments too. I feel like 2026 is already shaping up to be a good reading year for me, I just need more. Don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed me yapping about books. Make sure to subscribe to catch my next video, which may or may not be about tier ranking 30 romantasy books. See you there. Until then, take care. Bye!